We are Bizak. We are back.
Oh, yo.
We are back.
I am the
We
noise maker. I am the noise maker, and she's the one who calms me down, right?
we are back. We are back. We are back. Who would say we're back? Who never knows that we're back?
you know, we
Well,
there are so many things. A long time we don't come on the show, you know. You're not shame.
I'm me for shame.
Are you for shame?
All right, you still like how you do that? What are we going to do, you know? Still like how you blame me? What's going to happen now? Those of you who want to know the truth, you see how he's glowing? Usually the bride, them we say glowing, you know, but the groom is glowing. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, Mr. Gilling, Dr. Gilling,
You run off.
has been away. And the reason he has been away, he has, he's become a newlywed. He's become a newlywed. And so Dr. Gilling went to Jamaica, go do big marriage, and then we do big gathering in Toronto. And it's a whole thing. It's been a whirlwind for him for the last 2 weeks. That's why when he left you last, he said, see you in 2 weeks. Well, I know. Well, I know.
Me can't say that a lie. Me can't say that a lie. I true.
So you can't blame me, right? You know, man, I was waiting for you. Juliet Rose says, good afternoon, Dr. Leo, it's about time. Here ya.
Achoo.
And the funny thing is, his bride, his new wife, is someone I know. And so I approve.
Juliet, oh, you do.
I approve, I tell you.
I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I think if somebody says it's time, and me hear a whole heap of people say it's time. I've been divorced since 2009. Whoa.
Oh.
It's like 16 years. Oh, lad. It's time. Real time.
Yeah. So there you have it. That is why we were absent. It's not me. It's him.
And she was there Saturday evening, all glowing. Jesus and peace. If you ever see the dress, I'm sure so that the dress are $2,000 or $3,000. Me not no doubt about
wasn't Jamaican. Yeah, I was happy to be invited. Luckily, me know the bride. Me don't know if Leo didn't want me to start no excitement time event. So lucky say me know the bride, me get to invite the side there. Yeah. But yeah, it was a nice gathering here in Toronto for those who couldn't be a part of the nuptials in Jamaica. And we got a sneak peek at some of the pictures from the nuptials in Jamaica. So yeah, it was overall a good thing. So congratulations, sir. I'm telling you, congratulations on behalf of everybody that watches us as well. So we're happy to have you back. And we are back. So we're going to get into things. To be honest, a lot happened while we were off. So we're going to probably repeat
some of the things that they've heard before.
That you've heard already. But you never hear our take.
But never hear for a piece. Yeah.
You never hear for it. You know? So we're going to go over some of that because some of it was very topical and we can't miss it. We can't miss it and we can't not talk about it. And then we'll touch on some current affairs, of course, because it's Caribbean currents. So I think we should start at the one that upset me the most, Leo.
Okay.
And this was the situation with the nurse.
Oh, yes, please.
So that would have been about 3 Thursdays ago. A nurse heading into work. She is a nurse with the university hospital. And she was heading into work. And as the story was told, she was behind a vehicle that was kind of bad driving her. And in in an attempt to try to go around the vehicle or whatever, the driver of that vehicle proceeded to block her, stop, they both stopped, and he proceeded to go in, spat at her in her own vehicle, then pulled her from her vehicle and proceeded to beat her. He also had a weapon with him, he had a gun, and so there was intimidation and there was beating and all of that. And fortunately, I think there was somebody capturing video, because it appears, Leo, that people tried to intervene. That's what it appears like on the video, because a lot of people are like, oh, people always have video and now stop the thing. But it appears people tried to intervene, but he had a firearm. So there isn't much they could do. But from what I saw, Leo, I don't know, like I watch Marvel comics and I watch the movies.
Marvel?
Yeah, man, I'm a Marvel girl. I watch DC too, but I'm a
Okay,
Marvel girl.
okay.
And there was a scene in one of the Marvels where Hulk beat up Loki.
Yes.
That's how he was beating on this
woman. Yeah. I
he
remember that.
Literally was
taking
her like
flipping my door, throwing and then boom, stop. Well,
I am surprised she's alive. I am surprised.
Do you have an idea of what charges were laid on him? Because
so
it seemed like a lot.
Initially, only one charge was laid.
That like 6 different charges, serious charges.
So now they've added charges. So it's about 5 charges, all assault related. They've involved the weapon because the police took his weapon. So they've involved a weapons charge in
creating fear
in there.
But the bodily harm, attempted murder. When him stand up on our head,
Leo.
That is where, you know, me said to myself, say, something wrong here, so. Something wrong here, so.
Me mash up, man.
How on earth could you look at another person, a female? Listen, the male would have had a whole lot of things to do. I'll get to that in a minute. Because it would not be manhandling a male like that. You're not going to shoot him, right?
Yeah.
A female that him flip on through her ground, and then while she da ground him, put him foot on her and stand up in her head like, say, a mango in my mash up.
Yeah, man.
That's attempted murder.
Yeah, man. There should be an attempted murder charge. I agree. I agree.
So I know that they did not arrest him the same time.
No, it was after.
My understanding is that he was an uptown man and him,
yes, you know, and friends in high places and all.
Friends in high places.
But right? Apparently he has been denied bail. I haven't checked on him this week, but last week he was denied bail. So okay. that was a smart move on their part, because I think this man's a danger to society. And why I'm saying that to Leo, I don't know if you heard there was a nationwide interview with a woman, a separate woman, who said she had a similar
encounter with him.
Encounter which she thinks it's him. She's not sure. So it's alleged. But she called in and said, same thing. He was dilly-dallying in the road and she was trying to get around him. Same thing with him trying to pull her out of her vehicle and so on. And she said she just happened to get away. And she said when she saw this instance, how far it went, she personally was triggered, because she said, I am sure it's the same man. But all of this is alleged, right? So I actually think he's a menace to society.
I don't think I know that he's a menace to society. For a person to flip a woman, okay, so I bet you $100 if he had a man there, even with a gun, he wouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Because he would have sure someone liquor come from somewhere.
Yeah, a liquid connect.
Because he held the gun because he want the woman to fear him.
Yeah, and the sad part was when she said on camera, she was like, "What me do you? Like what could have caused this?"
What? Look, I thought it was I think I'm baby mother or something like that, you know.
Yeah, and even if it's in baby mother, I'm a menace to society.
I know,
but a lot of people were running with that theory too, because they're like, it must be a couple's war or something.
Yeah.
The woman is a happily married woman and a got her nurse job. and the man just out of the blue snap like that, that is a dangerous brother. And he has a firearm. Dangerous, brother. Dangerous. When I saw him pushing off the two men that were trying to intervene, I realized that this man is out of control. And he brandished the weapon on everybody, you know.
How would we be giving? Are these guys screened for guns?
This is it. No, Leo, this is the conversation. This is the subtext. The subtext is, who are we giving access to firearms? America has this problem, you know. You know that. America has this problem where the access to firearms is too easy. And here we have a situation again where this person look like him probably have mental health issues.
That's a madman. It's a madman. That's a madman.
It must mad to put your foot on the woman's head and face.
No, I mean, I like how you put that. Is stand up in the woman's head. No, put your foot. Stand up in the woman's head. I mean, how do you do that to anybody at all?
I'm picturing the video now as we speak. I'm literally like incensed. I can't even understand how it goes. So, and the thing is, this are the one them catch him on video in. We don't know what else he has done.
Because him do it a lot.
Obviously, man. The way him reacting, obviously him a long time him a do them something. Long time. My goodness, man. That one, to this day, my blood runs cold.
I want to follow that trial. I want to know what's going on in that courtroom. Because police, that the video there are pure evidence.
Yeah.
That the video there are pure evidence.
Man, I am extremely grateful. Sometimes I don't like see everything video, you know. But I am extremely grateful for this one because she could have been killed and we wouldn't know why. We wouldn't know how.
And I could see the guy who was trying to stop the thing. I could see his fear because he knows.
Yeah, man, you see the guy him go forward
right. Because if he didn't have a gun, the guy would have moved him away.
Yeah, man, the guy would have dealt with him.
Yes.
And because another guy came too, and when the other guy saw the
weapon,
he back off as well. Yeah. And then he had the weapon on her. And I'm like, you have your foot on her head. She already down, you have flung her 50 times. What could she do to you now? What potentially could she do to you now? It's bizarre. Bizarre, Leo. Bizarre. I haven't seen something like that in a while. Something a movie. I haven't seen something like that in a while. But I'm extremely grateful for the passerby or whoever that person was.
The camera, the person who caused it.
Because this is evidence. For her case, depending on where she wants to go with it. Actually, I think the Crown should take this up. I don't even think she should have even involved because he's a menace to society. I think she shouldn't even have to testify because it must be traumatic to relive this. Because I'm traumatized and it never happened to me.
It was hard to look at.
Hard to watch, man. Hard to watch. It was like George Floyd all over. It was hard.
Whoa. I was going to say... what's the name of the MP that got caught on video beating his wife a few years ago? He used a chair and beat her. I couldn't watch one either.
We need to find him.
George something under the name too.
Yes, you know. And he got to step down, you know.
Well, we thought he stepped down. He didn't step down. He moved away from the party.
Step aside.
He became an independent, but they accept him back again.
Yes, man. Yes, year. Man.
George.
I'm going to look him up, man. I'm going to find his name.
But then he got married to the woman.
Yeah.
Out of fear that he was going to end up in prison.
Yeah.
She can't
go. She can't be a witness against him. George Wright.
Against his wife. Exactly.
George
Wright. That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah. So that incident with George Wright and this incident tell me that there's something seriously wrong with our mentality in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I believe that we have a lot of mentally ill people walking around.
Yeah, I did talk the things on it that week because I couldn't ignore it, and I talked about mental health illness and how we're not addressing it. We're not addressing it enough.
No, no.
Of course, in the Caribbean, it's seldom talked about. Still, no matter how much work has gone into it, we have great scholars who've passed away, like Dr. Hickling and so on, who've worked on, trying to change the narrative around mental illness in Jamaica and the Caribbean. But we're still behind in the conversation. Still
Well,
behind.
let me tell you where mental illness took me on one of my shows one time. Right, it took me to um a female. I interview a lot of females who have had issues with boyfriend, mother, father, stepfather, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen where women, they get into relationships later on in life, and what has happened because of a violent past that they've had, and they were the victims of these violence, whether it's by childhood, or an early boyfriend, or a stepfather who violently raped them and get reported and so forth. When that woman later on gets married to a man, yes,
Yeah.
and this husband wants to do things that triggers the things that she has been through. You know what going to happen, right?
Yeah.
War and fight and shooting and knifing and all of them stuff there. You know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the things that will happen later on, and it is why I know that many of our women, because they don't get a chance to speak about their issues at childhood. They speak that we don't have any system set up for them to come and get psychological help or mental health help. And so what happens, they go through their life with all of these issues in their mind, and all that. What happens is that they get triggered at different times of their life, and we don't know the husband won't know what they went through. Right, the
Yeah.
husband was knows that she flare up every time, and understand, every time in touch her, she flare up, or she jump and gone, or you have to calm her down. That kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
it's really a bad situation.
Yeah, there are some studies that have been done. I mentioned it on my thing, that are making a correlation to childhood abuse and like where you end up in the prison system.
Yes, it
So
is.
not all
No,
prisoners have been
no,
abused.
no.
Not all people abused become prisoners,
But there are
but
correlations.
there is a concentric circle
Mm-hmm.
that people who have been beaten, horribly beaten as children, experience child abuse and neglect, also tend to end up on the highest crime spectrum in prisons. And there's a professor in Jamaica. I'm trying to remember if it was Wendell Abel or Abel, who worked on like he did a lot of interviews with prisoners there. I'm trying to find it again because this instance brought it to me because he made a very interesting connection to it. And I think about like instances that I know of personally and so on, that the child who now becomes the adult has become extremely abusive, violent, and so on because of what they witnessed as children. So
Or
there's
they can continue to be victims.
or victims. It could
And
go either
it could
way.
either way, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
And there is there's a school of thought around like corporal punishment. How can we eradicate it in the homes and so on, because it is a part of the psyche. But
Mhm.
a bigger conversation, we should probably have a therapist on to talk about
That's
these
a
things.
great idea. I think we
Yeah,
should talk about that.
yeah,
Talk about people who were abused, and want husband or wife who will abuse them, that kind of thing, and they continue to be
yeah,
victims, or the ones who decide that they're going to rebel against their father or their stepfather, and the man in front of them is their stepfather that they want to rebel against, and
yeah,
or they want to rebel against anybody out there,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and go to
It
prison
becomes a
for it.
broader
So yeah, it's just
a broader impact. Yeah, yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
we'll look into that. We need to get a therapist on to talk
Yeah,
about
that's be
about
great.
these things if we can further expound on it, because we're not the
Because if you think
professionals in
about
it.
it, if this weren't caught on camera,
Yeah,
and this man has the wherewithal to pick up a phone and call a politician and say, you know,
Let me out of this thing.
let me out of this, get me out of this here. That woman is going to have to deal with that situation
Yeah.
for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Because she can't report it, and if she report it, a lie she tell. Because because if it go to police station, somebody will throw the case, and
Yeah.
she can't get any kind of result. And
Yeah.
these are the things that we're dealing with all the time,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. No, it's one of those situations that I think I hope it brought us to a fork in the road moment as Jamaicans, where we can not
You
just.
really think so?
I hope, Leo, here's the impact it had on me. It was like the George Floyd
Indeed,
assassination,
indeed.
and that was a fork in the road moment for Americans. Whether or not them gone back on it, which we've seen,
Which
but
you hear that there's a possibility that he may get
acquitted and all.
acquitted, not acquitted, pardoned.
Yeah, pardon, because
Yeah,
they've been asking. But here's the thing:
yeah.
he has some federal charges, so that's why I'm hoping.
He has some state charges, so that would hold him.
Yes,
Yes,
state and federal charges. So
yes,
I'm
yeah.
hopeful that
That's not gonna
that's
happen.
just the lion guy talking again. But yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna move on from that because we will revisit these topics again. We will revisit the violence against women, femicide is happening at a high rate in Jamaica and the Caribbean. And we'll also be talking about the connections between mental illness and
So,
violence.
before we leave off of that, because I saw something the other day that I didn't like. Right, I'm not so sure if so. Last week Monday, the JNEA, the Jamaican Nurses Association,
All the associations.
the healthcare associations, they went out on on a protest.
Yeah, they've been protesting each week, it seems.
And what I hated most,
Yeah,
I am not so sure that I wanted to see the Minister of Health in there, because
I
to
know.
me, you represent a big part of the mental health problem, and then you're going to tell me that you are going to go out there and go stand up with it. You better make a speech and then sympathize, but don't go there and tell me say, because you are a part of the problem. And so me think.
Yeah, but he doesn't see that. So
I
I
know.
I see the game that was played there, and
Political.
what I appreciate is that the leadership for all the associations were there. The Nurses Association,
Absolutely.
Midwives Association,
Yeah.
and the there was another group.
That a for them protest, and
It's
no
their
politician
protest,
not
but I
supposed to be in a
appreciate that the
neglect.
leadership was there so
Yeah.
that they can handle his presence.
Yeah.
And they didn't look bad, you know what I mean? Because you know how media would have slanted
But the
that
media
them
was
going in.
showing him and other politicians at the front. And
Yes,
so we don't get to see the people who are
who are
in
the
there. That's my point.
actual protesters who are
Exactly.
going through the issue.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Mm.
and this is how this thing has so much rippling on Leo. That's why we can't talk about all of it, because the student nurses say they don't feel safe because there was a fatality, I think maybe 2 years ago, with a student, a nurse that was unalived in a case of violence. So they this one came very close to home. And then remember, the students at UTech,
Yeah.
they were also protesting because one of their own was found.
Yep.
Her body was found.
Yep.
So there women in Jamaica have been saying that they don't feel safe, Leo. It's not en masse, but I'm hearing it more and more
And it's
that
so
they
funny that
don't feel safe.
the safety issue had to do with because they're walking home. This one was driving.
Yeah.
Because most times the ones who are walking home, they are the ones that are at high risk, right?
Yeah.
But this woman was driving. It was driving. And
Yeah. You never
stop
know.
her
You just
and
never know.
stand up in her head.
Yeah.
I have a problem with you standing up in somebody's head. That is just the wickedest thing. That's showing complete disrespect for another human being. Complete disrespect for another human being.
Yeah. And the spitting on her first. That was the first sign of disrespect.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah. Arlene Dixon says hello to all. Hello,
Hello,
Arlene.
Arlene.
Welcome. So yeah, we're gonna have to revisit this in the
Yeah, man.
context of mental illness, in the context of violence against women, in the context of where this goes. Because we're going to watch this one, we're
Yeah,
going to watch
I'm
this one
following this one all the way. I
because some
mean, it
friends in
better
high
don't
places.
listen. It better don't get 2 months in a prison. It better be getting 25 years in a prison. I'm that
Listen,
serious.
listen to me.
Oh,
Maximum sentence.
maximum. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll come back to that. Um, on a let's go on a light note before we go on another heavy.
Well, you want to soft me up. You don't like
Yeah,
the tone. You don't like
well,
the tone.
it's a dance, Um, so and Leo can dance to see people. I saw. Anyway, so Usain Bolt has
Yeah.
at the 70th anniversary of the Jamaica Tourist Board, they announced Usain St. Leo Bolt as an ambassador to a mic.
How much you might get paid?
And everybody wants to know what you get paid to be this kind of ambassador. And Leo sent me a clip from our friend there that does these hot takes, and
Yes.
he said them pay him neatly. They don't pay him full. And the SSL money them a give both. I don't know what it is.
I,
So here's the light part for me.
yeah.
Usain Bolt has always been an ambassador to Jamaica.
You don't have to pay him for
From
that.
Usain will win the first Olympic medal.
It's in
He is
Jamaica.
a minted Jamaican ambassador. As a matter of fact, Usain Bolt now to me, and you can tell me if you disagree or agree. I think he is number 2 in terms of most popular Jamaicans. Bob Marley being number 1. I think Usain Bolt is number 2. And why I say that is he has entered general conversation. So people will be just talking and say, boy, I run fast like Bolt.
And
People in
that's not just
America,
in Jamaican.
in Europe,
That's not just in the Jamaican circle.
no.
It's international.
I hear, like, I was watching a podcast of some women in America, and they're like, I was so scared I ran like Usain Bolt. And I said, what? He has entered regular parlance.
Yeah, man,
He
big
is
time, big time.
a global icon. So you giving him ambassadorship?
To me, that's foolishness, right?
Soft things.
That could have been a quiet moment, to be honest with you.
Things for what Bolt has done for the country.
Yeah.
But anyway, we congratulate him on being officially an ambassador of Jamaica Tourist Board and so on. And we don't have no issue there. The issue we have is whether or not
This is a payback.
this is a payback. Whether or not this is a job.
Under the table kind of payback.
What kind of thing is this?
That will quiet the storm.
Yes. And rumors, allegedly, is that later this year he may be named as something else. So
it was said, you can say it. National hero. It was said by the Prime Minister.
National hero status may be granted to Usain Bolt. And so one can't help but wonder. I mean, we're just wondering.
Where is this coming from? But how many other people were in this? Was it 800 other people got cheated from SSL stats?
Was it 800? I don't know if it was 800. I know it was. It's
a lot of people. Right?
A lot of people.
We don't hear nothing about the other people. No, Bolt money, enough money.
Yeah.
Right. We understand. But there's one woman with $800,000 US.
Yeah.
Who lost their money. And one with 250,000, one with 40,000.
Yeah,
I don't care how much they lose.
And couple of them is them actual retirement. Bolt said this was going to be his retirement fund as well. But some of them is they're literally older now, not working. And this was their retirement money.
So Bolt is going to live for another 60, 70 years, right? And he has a retirement fund right now as an ambassador.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll see and we'll hear.
But let me take this a little bit further, though, because it was just yesterday I was listening to the news. And the same exact thing happened in America, where this company used... No, it's Canada. It's Canada, actually. Yeah, it's Canada. this SSL type company
Yeah.
invested in some in what do you call it, stocks again, um mortgage brokerage stocks,
Mm-hmm.
something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and kept telling the people them that the stocks them worth more than what it really is. So
Mm.
this yesterday evening, the two man who owned the business got
Mm-hmm.
convicted for 20, almost about 20 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, and this is not the topic that we're starting about. That you start me off. Whenever you say Bolt, you talk about SSL as far as me concerned. And so, how is it that nobody who's
Yeah.
owners of SSL is in jail
It's being
and
held.
in court?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Are them take the people their money?
Yeah.
Are them responsible
It
for
it
taking the
it,
people their
it
money?
remains a big mystery in
So
Jamaica.
I still don't understand why is it that this didn't happen. Anyway,
Yeah.
don't get me
Yeah.
started.
No. So we won't put a damper. Congratulations to Dr. Bolt.
Yes,
Because he has honorary. So congratulations to Dr. Bolt.
absolutely. Bolt is my
Bolt,
hero.
me not think Bolt can do no wrong for me.
Yeah,
I haven't
right.
seen it yet.
Yes.
He can. He's the guy. If you're gonna say Mr. Jamaica, he's Mr. Jamaica. So I just hope that this is not to quiet him
I hope
from
not.
fighting for.
And I hope that there's a court case coming soon.
Yes,
All right.
yes. So we'll watch out for that. But yes, thought I'd divert us there to talk about the latest ambassador to Jamaica.
Before you go to anything else, because I wrote a little piece this week on Facebook, and I've been writing about it for the longest time, just as we touch on Bolt. And we just want to go there again. We don't have to go talk about nothing about it. The airport in a Rockabessa, in a St. Mary, Boscobel, it was called Boscobel Airport before, right?
Yeah.
Then
No,
they traffic. Then they
Ian
traffic.
Fleming, no?
Eh?
Is the one them called Ian Fleming?
Then try to change it to Ocho Rios and then get flat. And then change it now to Ian Fleming, right? No. Ian Fleming, where I want house at Rockabess.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He come there and then write and then go back to England. He not have nothing at all to do with prosperity of Jamaica, Jamaican economics, Jamaican politics, Jamaican community, Jamaican nothing. He not have nothing at all to do with Jamaica and advancements. Why is it?
So your feeling is that an airport in Jamaica should be named for a Jamaican?
Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Louise Bennett, you name it. Somebody with born and have an impact on our community, on our political system, on our economic system, our cultural heritage systems. I don't understand what this white man came and did, because he not have nothing. If you ask 90% of Jamaica, who's Ian Fleming, they can't tell you nothing. You ask 70%, 80%, 100% of Jamaica, what Bob Marley do, everybody can tell you. Same thing with Usain Bolt, most 80% can tell you about Miss Louise Bennett. But we don't have no airport after them, and we have a problem with that.
So this is the hill Leo wants to die on tonight. It's Mark Hayes here, our favorite comedian sometimes and commentator. Mark Hayes says, Choman, it's marketing to get the white folks to come to Sandals. That's right. Talk about it. Talk about it, Mark. You notice I stay out of this one, Mark. I'm not getting involved because, he is synonymous with Golden Eye and all this other stuff and James Bond. So I know it was a strategic move on their part. Good luck for that. I don't think I'll ever use the airport, so I'm gonna really take myself and get
it's right in my yard, in my hometown.
Yeah.
And me don't know nothing about the commander. Me don't know nothing about him.
Juliet Rose says, remember Mass Run, Ronnie Williams. Yes.
Thank you very much. Why not
names.
Ronnie Williams Airport?
So many names we could have used.
So many of us.
So many names.
Bob Marley has more impact on the world than anybody else that we're living right now. Yeah. and what's going on.
Yeah,
What I
Mark
couldn't name
says I
balance.
am standing far from Leo too.
All
This
right.
is not my
Now
fight.
me chew a rock stone.
Leo, we'll leave you with it because I'm from your backyard.
All right, all right.
And because of your backyard, you're so passionate about it. And so we understand. And when you write the placards, we might hold it with you.
All
But
right, all right, all right.
right
So,
now, me and Mark are on the same side. Leave Ian Fleming them alone, you hear? Okay, so a little bit of politics outside of Jamaica, but in the Caribbean. Madam Mia Motley.
Woo!
So, we have, I don't know if you have the same bias, but I have a bias for Mia Motley. I think
I know what your bias is.
I think she's by far one of our strongest leaders, all of these things, right? But I also have a concern, which I expressed on this show before. And now we hear that Mia says she will be running for another term as head of Barbados. So, Leo, what is your take on this?
All right. So hear me now.
Because she said she wasn't going to run another term. That's why it's a topic.
Oh, okay. So here's mine. I don't mind her running again. Here's why.
Biden is saying they're going to run again too, by the way.
She has shown that she's a balanced politician.
Mm-hmm.
She's not showing me what's going on in America and what goes on in Jamaica.
You have no reason for concern.
No, I have no reason for concern that she's going to use her power to become authoritative. You understand? I think she is a balanced person and she makes balanced decisions. I don't have a problem with that because it's the people's choice. If the people want her, they will get her. Now, if she goes in there and she plays the fool like what's going on in America and what's going on in, the authoritative, or even in Jamaica, where we see how one-sided laws are creeping in without taking, you understand? So, I don't like that either.
So here's a challenge I have. She currently does not have an opposition.
Mm-hmm.
One person actually left her side of the aisle to go over on the other side of the aisle to be an opposition. He's the lone opposition, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one. So if you say the people say, the people must have choice. There is no choice, right?
Oh, there's choice.
Where's the choice?
It's just that they don't have, all right. They had the choice at the time when she was running. It's just that she won all the seats.
Yes.
Meaning that the opposition didn't win anything.
Yes. And the people love her and all of that.
People, and so the people want her. Me have a problem with that, because it can go wrong.
That's what I'm saying, Leo.
Right? Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts, right?
Yes.
And here's the danger too. You see, we don't see anything now. And heaven forbid anything should come that is negative from her leadership. But if you're in it for too long,
yes, it's complacency.
The complacency sets in, the overconfidence in your decision making as the leadership of the country sets in, and the people become so trapped in it. Jamaican people especially should know this, because when they were complaining about how much years the PNP did,
yes,
right, was because
they switched just
because of over time, for whatever reason, people fell out of love with them, right?
Yeah, man.
We're not going on it because we can have split views. But guess what is happening now? Under a leadership that says, opposition, prosperity, and all the abundance and all these things, they are now creeping up to have leadership for an extended period of time.
And I think maybe we could
and it's harder to get them out.
And so here's what I agree with you, because complacency can cause problem. But I think that in democracy there has to be boundaries. In America, a senator can be there. I remember there's a guy.
They need term limits too.
Yeah. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
I think that each leader must have term limits. And when them done, a new
New
person
crop,
must go in there because
new crop.
it a give the country another look at the future.
So here's my other thing. Having been a leader in the workspace, you have to be able to know when to walk away.
Nobody not do that.
Nobody don't want to walk away. And
Nobody.
that catch Biden, take
Yes.
too long to walk away,
Nobody
right?
no want to do that.
You have to learn that there comes a time, no matter how great your ideas are, it's better to mentor somebody and groom that person to be along the same political ideology and decision making, strengthen them with how you make decisions, strengthen them with strategy, and so you can slowly creep away. You can be an advisor, all of these things. Nobody is doing mentorship to have future leaders. What they want is to be perpetual leaders, and we see the danger of that multiple countries. I think, I did a thing on Ibrahim Traore, who
So
is
what do you think about
Burkina Faso. Let's don't talk about him.
okay.
Burkina Faso. The leader, two leaders before him, was in power for over 20 years. And he wasn't a great leader. And he went in because of a coup. A coup happening in Burkina Faso, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And he went in because of a coup. And the people over time, them just stuck with this person who has no real opposition because them do little nefarious things. That is my concern. It's not Mia. Me not attack me. Anybody knows me love Mia. If Mia come right now, me.
And I think we got lucky with Mia. I think Mia.
We're lucky. But
yeah.
we're lucky. But
yes.
We must be cautious. And
we have to be cautious.
You see, democracy we've learned with America, watching your country, Leo. Democracy is fickle. Democracy is not as solid as I thought when I was growing up as a child.
And if it's so if it's not democracy, it's a spin-off from democracy, which is some part of socialism and so forth, right?
Either socialism,
because
oligarchy, all kinds of things.
Once you put a limit to it, then it's not democracy.
Yeah.
Right? And so in Barbados, democracy is in full play. The only problem is, one, she has full power for everything and anything. The good thing is that she's reaching out to everybody and making sure that everybody is seen in the decision making. And
she's
then,
big on development and so on.
Yes,
and we can see the progress. And she's a regionalist, and I like that she's a regionalist.
Yeah, that's my point. She constantly references Jamaica and other islands, the things that, and take from those islands the good things that they do to implement in her own system. I mean, as I said, we get lucky. She gone 7 years already. She's been in politics since 2008. She gone 7 years as a leader. Is that too soon? Is that too much? And the people have to decide that. But but democracy needs a limit as to how long they can keep her in office. I believe that.
I think every leader needs a deadline. I think every leadership model needs a deadline. Mark is making an important point here that I wanted to touch on. Barbados might be benevolent dictatorship in the making.
What a wonder. Benevolent. That's a strong opposing view, though.
No. Benevolent dictatorship. Leo, we have watched as we realize people in the world.
I think that's Burkina, though.
No, him said Barbados might
be. But I see that more.
Burkina is definitely benevolent dictatorship.
Right.
But he's saying it's in the making. Okay. We are seeing it in America in particular. What I'm seeing in America is that people are more warm to the idea of dictatorship than I thought.
Not just America.
But we're seeing it at play, big in America, as your president would say, bigly. We're seeing it at play where people are so warm to the idea of dictatorship, it is scary. So I think it's a note of caution. I am trusting Mia, who has studied with the greats, to continue to be a good, upstanding leader in the Caribbean, to continue to be a good leader for her people. But I'm also saying, Mia, you must have a deadline in your mind and nurture new talent, mentor new talent,
I hope
so
she
that
does.
somebody can come in after you, carry on the good work, and nobody be dictator. That's all
I
me.
hope she does. I really hope that she does. I hope she and there's a possibility because to me, after 8 years, you should have seen someone who or groomed someone who could replace you. Because
Yeah,
if she already said that she's not gonna go back and she changed her mind, it means that in her mind there hasn't been someone who has grown to the level that she
yeah.
thinks.
Who can step up like her?
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
may be very right, Leo,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah.
a unique leader.
Indeed,
So
indeed,
she may be very right that nobody don't have
indeed, indeed,
the
indeed,
capacity and acuity
indeed,
that she possesses.
indeed.
However, just a note of caution, we should be working on it.
Yeah, man.
We
Indeed,
should be working on transition. You
indeed.
can't just say you're going to leave and then you get down to the wire and nobody leave.
Should be transitioning. Should be
Yeah.
preparing for the
But
next
we
leader.
should consider this a transitional term.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. She should
But I mean, send her a letter now. Send her a letter and say, listen,
no, me don't want
we
upset
can
me.
take
No,
you.
me must be like me. No, me don't want. Me don't want upset her. But me just say, if anybody wants to send her this video,
So here goes, here goes, here goes. Generally, when people want thief from a country,
yeah,
right, then the thief in the first term.
no,
Then thief in the latter part of the second, and if they got third term, then thief
yes,
enough. Understand?
yes.
So it's
Things to think of,
yeah.
things to consider, things to consider. But you know, I haven't seen anybody else as a leader coming out of Barbados, so I can't say
That's quite
don't.
unfortunate because we don't see nobody at all who's stepping up and going on different
Platforms
conferences
and
and
yeah,
platforms and speaking on behalf
yeah,
of Barbados.
yeah.
She's the only one, and she
She's the only
speaks
one we see.
for,
So
for the whole community, for the whole region.
yeah, for the
You know,
region. And when she speaks at the global in the global
fair.
spaces, she's representing the Caribbean
The
very
whole
well,
Caribbean. Yeah, man.
very
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
So we don't
I'm
want her to go yet, to be honest. If she's going to be the same person in the past 7 years, I don't want her to go yet. She'll
yeah,
be fine. Because
yeah.
I think
I need her to consider this a transitional year,
indeed. I agree.
a transitional term. You have another 4 years to make it change.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Mia.
When is her election, by the way?
I'm wondering if it's this year why it came up. I need to look back.
It has to be because
Yeah.
people aside from America that has I know other countries do. We know 4 years down the road when the election over will happen. But in the Caribbean, I hardly think that there's any country that has the static election date planned way ahead. And I don't think she's gonna give a year. She's gonna
No.
because a war that Barbados has one of the lowest crime rates, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, and so the elections normally bring out the worst in our Caribbean people.
Yeah. Marquez says if you have not seen a succession plan in the country or at church, at a company, it's deliberate. Papa, in my 9 to 5 life, I just actually presented a transition plan to my board of directors this year. So I understand what you mean, Mark. I understand what you mean. If you don't plan, you don't plan. You know. Okay, so the other thing that we want to talk about might actually might affect Jamaicans. It's definitely affecting Canadians and it's definitely affecting Americans. And this is the student visa.
It's a big thing.
Situation.
That's a big thing.
It's a big deal. So, firstly, Canada. I can speak to Canada first. Last year, some significant changes were made to the student visa
Yeah.
process. Basically,
They,
you can't get none.
yes.
You know, at one and two,
Yeah. They have specific. You have to
the
fall in a specific.
province that I'm sitting in is Ontario, which is where Toronto is. This province has said they don't want more than 3%
Right. Right. Right.
international students.
Right.
So I've been upset about it because I know people who are involved. I was an international student.
Oh, were you?
I was
Oh.
an international student. That's how
Oh.
I entered Canada the second time around.
I hope you get your citizenship already, because if you
Yeah, man,
don't,
I miss
we are kick you
citizenship,
out. Oh,
but you
oh.
know, see your people them a talk about birthright citizenship, so we don't know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I've been upset about it because I think it is a very racist pawn that is being used. It's highlighting xenophobia, and it's stupid. Hear how it's stupid. It is financially stupid to do. International students pay full rate to attend school.
I don't think that's why they stop it though.
No, that's not
Okay.
why they stop it. That's
But
what
yeah,
they're losing.
yes, what they're losing.
That's what they're losing by stopping it.
Yeah.
International students pay full rate to attend school. International students also return taxes. International students, in most cases, and now America is going to learn this the hard way, in most cases, are the researchers, scientists, extensive contributors to society in terms of moving the needle in healthcare, moving the needle in
But
science.
you have to understand that all of that don't matter to the
To
lawmakers.
dark racist people.
Right. What did you glean that why this came into play? What did you think? What did you hear? Because to me, what I hear is that they want to change the way they accept you in the country. It's not, I don't think it's going to be gone very long.
No,
What they're saying is that in order for you to get a student visa, they want you to open up your social media
yeah,
before they even accept an application from you.
yeah.
So the minute you apply, boom, the first thing they're going to do is go down your social media to see whatever it is that they can disqualify you for.
So you're entering a dictatorship.
And so yeah, and that is the main reason.
Yeah.
The other reason was that the school that caused the trigger on this is not opening up their database of students.
Yes, Harvard, we can call it.
Right.
Because
they're not opening up their database of students to see where the students are coming from, and so that they can search their social media platform.
All of this is a red herring, Leo.
I know, man.
Your scholastic endeavors have nothing to do with the so-called president. Your scholastic endeavors have nothing to do with your personal life, even. Because if you have a choice, if you've made a choice to be whatever, think whatever, that is actually supposed to be encouraged by education. That's actually supposed to be encouraged by higher education, to have free thinkers.
So how did this affect Jamaica?
Yes.
There are a lot of Jamaican students that apply for visas. For students
yearly.
They go. They go to some of the best universities across the nation.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to see people trying to wipe out, delete, cancel all of this, their social media accounts. You're going to see a lot of that, you know.
Mark says, Leo, if you believe they just want to check your social media, I got a bridge to sell you.
No, no. I said that because that's what they are saying.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
But the basis of it is even more nefarious.
Oh yeah.
The basis of it is is racist, xenophobic thought.
Oh, I know all
The
of that.
basis of it is this America First idea is actually it's a dictatorship meets a banana republic. It's ridiculous. But here's the thing. In Canada, the reason why the changes were made was that the former Prime Minister Trudeau yielded to conversations that were happening from the right wing. And one of the things that they were saying is it's just an overall anti-immigrant sentiment. Overall, we have too many immigrants in Canada. That was what was being said. It's still being said. Too many immigrants in Canada, too many certain kinds of immigrants in Canada, right? And that the student visa is a way that they are getting into the country, and we need to block, block, block. And
So
and he
what do you
said,
think about the amount of students that were coming into Canada though, versus housing versus the jobs availability? I mean, how do you manage just bringing in people so much, so many people?
so here's a challenge, Leo. You can't just willy-nilly let in everybody. However, when I entered Canada, 99, there was an economist and statistician, I believe he's a statistician, whose last name is Foote. He said that if Canada does not replenish its population, it is in danger of not having enough population and not being able to develop and grow. So when politicians were making decisions about immigration, it is based on these recommendations from economists. Because what was also being noted, we're in a boomer era now, where the boomers are retired or retiring. We're in an
There's
era,
nobody to replace them.
nobody to replace them, and where technology was going, where
They don't want to deal with
economy was
technology and
going, and
yeah,
so on. So who was going to do it? No new blood, new
new.
fresh faces, new fresh
They don't
ideas,
have enough. They don't have enough.
right? The other thing is, Canada's issue, and a lot of countries' issue, is you don't plan for it, right? So the economists and statisticians say you need more people, but now you need to go on the back end and be like, where are we going to slot them, right? Because Canada is third or fourth largest landmass in the world. So we have land. But is it all inhabited? Is it all being used to the max? And Canada doesn't have enough industry to support the numbers that were taken in en masse. So
This
there
is
needed to have been, I agree, there could have been a staggering
right.
to get there, but there also needs to have been a plan of how do we incorporate these people, because they're most likely going to fall in love with the country and most likely going to want to apply to stay.
And these countries have been doing this for the longest time.
For
I mean,
years, for
England did that
years.
with the in the 40s and 50s to what's the name of
Windrush.
the Windrush. Canada did it in the 50s and 60s, and so forth. And so
So we're good
it
enough
happened.
to use, immigrants are good enough to use,
Yeah,
international students are good enough to use. You
yeah,
meet a quota, you get
yeah.
some bright people for come do some
Right,
patents and all
right.
of that. And then you turn around now and the people start saying, where we're gonna do too much of
Yeah,
them, and you
right.
start hit
Cut,
them up,
cut, 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 cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
But and I understood that. Yeah, America didn't come up with that type of. It's not the same reason why they're doing it, but
No,
based on everything else that we're looking at, it has nothing to do with over um, replenishment of people or second in terms of
it's
yeah
second in terms of
second.
landmass behind Russia.
Oh
I don't know.
wow, wow.
From my growing up, it was the third. So I don't know. I'll double check that.
Okay, yeah, man.
But
But
yeah,
it
big
didn't have
landmass.
anything.
Canada can be a continent, to be honest.
It didn't have anything to do with we don't have enough people to fill jobs. That's not what America is saying. America is following on the trend of the immigration thing where they are removing people from the country and They
They're
want
moving certain
to
types of
go
people.
back.
It's a racialized
And
move.
yes, yes,
The,
yes.
the, the, the America First is also white America first, right? So they're doing that. But
But we
at the
started out talking about how does it impact
yes,
Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean, and I think that's where we need to take the
Marquez says,
discussion.
by the way, anti-immigration sentiment can exist in Jamaica too. Just saying. Yes, we saw that with what happened with the Chinese recently, Chinese mechanic shop. Anyway, that's a different topic. Me and Leo are going to talk about. But
Did we talk about it?
no, we didn't touch it. We didn't touch it.
Oh, we can talk about it this evening because something wrong with all of that. But go ahead and tell
Yeah.
me how
Yeah,
was this?
but he's right. There can be anti-immigration sentiment anywhere because here's the thing. Immigrants are always scapegoated as the reason your economy failing, the reason you're in crisis, the reason you can't find a job, the reason this, that, the other is either immigrant or migrant, right? So migrant workers in America were the first scapegoat. That's why they went after Mexicans. And then now this anti-intellectualism and xenophobia is now extending to the student visa population. And I will guarantee you all that the average student and the average migrant isn't taking away no job.
Well, if you think about it, let's do a little correlation here with the Chinese mechanic shop.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica has not seen anything like that.
No, sir. Lying round the corner.
Well, the speed at which they work,
Yes.
right? Because the longer we keep the car, the more we charge them, right? And the Chinese.
You're going to come back for the spark plug if me replace it today. We have to fix the transmission today, and then you have to come back for the spark plug next week, and then you come back for the steering wheel. Need fluid, and then you come back for the thing.
And it charge you labor all the time, each time to make some money.
Then I must.
But no, here comes a Chinaman that operates a business in a one different country, the same way they want to operate it in Jamaica, and Jamaica have a problem with it. Jamaicans have a problem with it because they say they might take over job, they might take over business, they might take over. That's the stupidest thing we ever hear in our life. And then all of a sudden, the government comes in, shut down the business for nothing at all because they might do a good job. You ever hear business shut down because they might do a good job? They couldn't find anything other than a couple of people them not working with the proper visa.
With proper visa.
Where shut down the business for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that is going to happen en masse. Right? Jamaica is a microcosm. That is going to happen en masse in America. So the ICE raids have now extended up to the rich people area, Nantucket, and with the one with the rich people I'm going again. I have never been, so I can't speak to it. Leo, you're an American. Talk about
I don't know which part it is. I don't.
Up by Maine here.
Honestly,
Martha's Vineyard.
I have a phobia when it comes to immigration.
Yes.
Me afraid bad when me have to go through immigration and customs, or me here say one truck down the street to pick up people. Even though me have my right papers, me a citizen, me still afraid to go through the airport. You understand? Because when I talk about me black and sea cuts.
When I go to the border, I become a runaway slave. Yes, so master, no, so master. When I go through the airport to go to U.S. immigration in particular, I become a runaway slave. Me can't handle it. Me afraid like puss. If there's anybody me afraid of them.
I guess hear my fear. And pick me up, me upon blood pressure medication, right?
Yeah.
So then pick me up. I'm gonna carry my blood pressure medication. Yeah, dead tomorrow.
Dead man.
Right? Me dead tomorrow.
No, it's serious. It's a serious concern. No, it's a serious concern. But everybody's at risk. Everybody's at risk.
Mental health concern, social concern, everything.
Everybody's at risk. So for the Jamaican students who would have been trying to get into America or Canada, they're gonna have to look to Europe. Europe just announced, couple of the nations just announced that they're going to be making massive investment in this regard. So that's the option
Yeah,
because
I see that a lot of countries opening up for these students to
yeah.
come.
So right now,
China and Japan open up for people from the Caribbean. Yes, people
yeah.
from America.
So
You know,
right now, I don't even plan to visit America, no, Leo. I mean,
you not come. You're supposed to come, man. Come. America welcome you.
when you not take out the orange guy, me come. So, but for the rest of you who want to be students in America and Canada,
I mean, you know, I have a party. I invite you.
you can invite me all you want. I have family in America. I'm afraid, afraid man. Leo, I'm fairly political. All right, I'm very political. So me not have enough energy to scrub my social media to hide my views. You understand?
And you not get rid of your account.
I have too much accounts. Me not delete them. Me not scrub them. So we just not about to travel. I just saw it go. But the students in Jamaica, I highly recommend you look into Europe and other spaces. There was a time where even Germany was giving even a lot of grants to go there and study. Look into it because right now it no look pretty. It no look safe to come to the North America side. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. The right wing on both sides of the border here have influenced this decision making, and you're in danger.
So when we were talking about,
So this person, wow, says, I checked, and in terms of square miles, it is second to Russia. Thank you.
oh yeah, I know Russia is big.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yeah.
and thank you for listening because it means that you're listening.
Yes, and engaging with
So
us.
my comparison between the United States and Jamaica, because I'm mostly concerned about the effects. So, for example, we're coming in to you know amending our constitution is not amending. It's a complete revamp, right?
Reform.
A reform. And my question is, if we're reforming, it means that our entire system must be reformed, because you can't just take one piece out of it and reform. It means that you're just amending. And to me, I saw where our government is trying to push through a proposal to get that reform done without considering the Privy Council, considering the CCJ, and to me, all that is wrapped up in with one another.
Yeah.
And if we're reforming because we want to get rid of the king and the queen, right? Then we have to reform to get rid of the king and the queen out of everything, not just the way we do our government.
Their influence, their impact, their adjudication,
yeah.
all of it should be considered.
Should be considered. And so I don't understand. I mean, I see, they're talking about. I went to Jamaica the other day, and all I hear every minute I hear, reform. But they're not talking about. I'm talking about the advertisements,
Yeah.
The advertisements running on the air.
Yeah, man.
It's all about reform constitution, but it's not saying anything about Privy Council and CCJ.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying they're getting the people's mind all wrapped up into referendum, so that when they get a vote or they get people to become the people will say yes, but the people in not say yes.
They won't know what they have.
Know what they're saying yes. So exactly. Yeah. And so I have a problem with that. And so I don't like when things look one-sided. And I want to see, I'd like to see where if one party wins, they get 51% of the government, of the parliament.
Yeah.
And the other party get 49%. So that we always have balance. And the prime minister will work him way through to get stuff done. That's what I want to see. Yeah. I don't like to see one of 50 and the other one of 13. That don't make any sense to me. Not like
Yeah.
it.
Mark Hayes says the fact there is a need of a privy council is confirmation for me that Jamaica should never have been granted full independence. Can't manage Mark.
That got through the door a long time off.
Can't
From
manage Mark, you know,
1962.
man. But you
Okay.
know, every time we talk about constitution, somebody said these kind of things
Yeah, man, I know.
that we probably should never have got the independence because we don't know if we handle it. I don't know. I don't know. It's complex. My concern is, Leo, that this is just one thing that will be pushed through. There are many other things that will be pushed through in this process that the people will not have a clue about.
Well, the good thing is that they need one vote from the PNP. I saw them trying to change something to say, but I didn't. It didn't go through.
Yeah.
But they need one vote from the Senate, from the PNP.
Yeah. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because I've seen reform go bad. We're currently looking at Leo's light fixture. But
oh my God, how did that happen?
I don't know.
All right, so I'm looking at a it's my camera.
Yes,
Turn off this.
You knock yourself right out.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to say good evening to everybody who's been tuned in and listening in and commenting. Remember that we are on my page on YouTube, MediaBizTO, Leo's page on YouTube as well, and Jamaicans.com on Facebook. So feel free to share when this live is done.
Hold on. Sorry. Let's read this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is supposed to have that kind of power, right?
Mm-hmm.
CVM PM Olness says he'll only call the election when confident of a victory. That is absolute junk.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that to me, I mean, this is where I have a problem with our system. Me just have so much problem. How do you, as a prime minister, have the right to say that in public on TV? Something is wrong with that man. And there should be a law against him saying that.
You heard what I said to you? You heard what I said to you earlier about this overconfidence that comes with ruling for too long.
Yeah.
That's what happens. There's a lack of accountability to the process.
Only election when he's confident. That is absolute illegal. I am positive that is illegal.
Lack of respect for process happens.
That's authoritarianism.
Because we have been in an extended campaign period. So what is the holdup? Oh, you are not confident in a win. Thank you for telling us. Thank you for telling the people. Thank you for telling the people that you only go and run if you can win for sure. Got it. What was the word that Mark?
How is that democracy?
What was the word that Mark used earlier?
How is that
benevolent?
Yeah. How is that democracy? I don't get it.
I'm telling you, Leo, more and more, I think we are we're seeing the fickleness of democracy. Wow says that I think that in terms of constitutional vote, you should have at least a 2/3 majority, which would include both houses. Agreed. Wow. Agreed. Boy, Leo, I tell you just this evening, democracy is fickle. And here you have it. Democracy is fickle, people. It's scary times that we're living in, because you know what it is? This strongman politics that America is experiencing right now is emboldening.
That's my point.
Is emboldening everybody else around the globe to try something like this. You understand? So, continue to develop the appetite for foolishness, and you see what you get. That's always been a strategy by the Labour Party. This is true. That's always been a strategy by the Labour Party. Them not call no election when they don't know them are going to win. This is true.
I know
But yeah.
that. Trust me. I have a
So
feeling
here is
that
Mark
Mark
A.
Golding.
Mark says the reason for the loss of confidence in democracy is partly racial. Yeah.
For America?
Yeah.
Or Jamaica?
For America. For America, for sure. Yeah.
Because Trump in same one, him want to stay in the, he want to go for the third term.
Yeah, man, go
That's
for the third term that is unconstitutional. But you see, when you say things over and over and over, people think it can be done. And that's his strategy, That's his biggest strategy. His biggest strategy
repetition.
is repeat a lie. Repeat a lie repeated many times starts sounding like the truth. My goodness. The one that kind of knock way out, Leo, we have to go wrap up. We can't take it.
It really is. It really not me.
We can't do no more. We can't touch no more topic. We have to talk about it. We have a big topic we wanted to touch on. We have to talk about it next week.
It's quite disappointing to hear that.
The equipment scandal.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
We can't touch that tonight.
No.
We can't touch that tonight because no, our head is spinning.
We're going to be wrapping around all of this.
Yeah, our head is spinning. No, I think we should wrap. We should wrap.
Please.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been with us for another episode of Caribbean Currents. The gentleman that you see smiling is a newly married man. His name is Dr. Leo Gilling. I am a continued single woman. My name is Danae Peart. You can find me at Media Biz PO on all platforms, and you can find Leo by searching Leo Gilling on all platforms.
I tell her to send one picture of the dress which you wear Saturday night. It was dashing, okay? Dashing. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
See, what say if you know mind sharp Donald gets a third term. May I tell you if them no hold them grown in America mash up. Anyway, good night, folks. Have a safe night. We'll see you again next week, God willing. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.